My dad is the most petty, jealous person on earth, and he still can't see what he did wrong. I used to look up to my father, but I never felt an ounce of attachment to him after ruining all of our lives. My dad's awful personality started when he was young. My grandparents had been strict on him and made everything a competition, so when my uncle showed that he could do well without putting in an effort, it made my dad twisted. He grew jealous of his own brother's success, and I never understood it. My dad started a one-sided competition with him. He tried to get better grades, but my uncle ended up besting him at academics. So my dad found an attractive girl and married her, even if they didn't love each other. He focused on his career, which made him too busy for our family. The only disappointing thing he couldn't change was the fact that he got a daughter instead of a son. Having a daughter as his only child was a huge deal because of our Asian background, and it really hurt me and shaped me as I grew up. I worked hard to earn achievement after achievement at school and extracurriculars. I won the class and district spelling bee every year, and I entered quarterly science fairs and sports tournaments. But each time I came home with a trophy or certificate and brought it to my dad, he would congratulate me with a cold expression and emotionless eyes. By around the 5th grade, I realized that my dad would never be happy with my achievements. But there was only one thing that made him happy. Anytime my uncle's son Harry failed at anything, I would see the edges of my dad's lips curl into a sly smile. So late at night while he was drinking wine silently, he suddenly walked into my room and began his master manipulation. He patted my head and called me a good girl for studying late into the evening. He told me how he's proud that I'm better than Harry, and told me that Harry was a waste of space in the family and shouldn't even exist. I stared at my dad, a bit shocked at the language he used, and slowly agreed. He grinned, calling me good again, which made me feel good too. He told me that if I do anything to my cousin, like bully him, he would make sure to protect me like a knight in shining armor. I loved the idea that my dad would actively protect me because it made me feel like a lovable princess. So I began to bully my cousin at every second I could. It was easy since we went to the same school together and he lived quite close to us. Once, when my dad came to pick us up from school, he saw me extending my leg to trip my cousin Harry. I laughed, saying that he should work on his balance. He frowned and got back up, entering our car silently. My dad later told me that he was proud and encouraged me to show off whenever I could, saying, "Be proud that you're better than everyone." So I grew up even more arrogant and spiteful without really even having a personal reason to act this way. About a year after the bullying started, my uncle found an opportunity to speak with me and asked if I noticed if Harry had been acting strange at school. I shook my head no and asked what he meant. My uncle sighed and smiled at me, saying that it was nothing, but I knew exactly what he meant. They had always been a very happy family, but lately the tension around them was easy to see. I thought it was funny that for several months I called Harry a stupid and weak coward, but he never opened up about any of it to his parents. Instead, he pressured himself more at school to catch up to me. We ended up both joining the same school-wide Quiz Bee challenge, but my team had ditched me at the last minute because I yelled at them for being too slow during our practices. I was panicked and worried about what my dad would say to me for failing to show up to the Quiz Bee, but Harry and his friend suddenly stepped up and joined me, and to my surprise, he managed to answer the final question that led to our championship. Because of that incident, I stopped bullying him and decided to get to know him as a person. However, it was too late. Everything I said and did had stayed with him, and 4 years later, he drew his final breath after stepping in front of a bus. My uncle and his wife moved away and distanced themselves, and Dad had become cheerful around the house. My uncle and his wife moved away and distanced themselves. My dad is happy and said he was proud of me. I told him that I hated him and cut ties once I turned 18.